So my next guest, you kind of need to start thinking in your business if you want to get things done, because hiring is no longer the solution. So please welcome Grizel to the stage. So you are sort of the demographic. You had a very extremely high-paying corporate job. And you were getting headhunted all the time for people to switch to a company, and an enormous salary, right? Pretty much anywhere in the world or any place in the United States, like companies would hire, move you and everything. And you said, you know what, I am going to go on my own, right? So that I can do more of what I want, but I can still speak to this company. Talk about that transition.
So that transition, just this year, 4 months ago, but exactly that. I was in corporate America for 29 years, making millions of dollars, right?
A lot, yes.
A lot of money for them. And I had a juicy salary, did my negotiation tactics that you teach us. And so it was getting to be those golden handcuffs. And I figured it's time to do that on my own. So a lot of what I applied got to 7 figures. And I knew that if I wanted to get to 8 figures or more, I wanted to help other companies. I wanted to help, private companies, public companies, do more with less resources in a big way. So through results, I wanted to make sure that I showed them and helped them thrive.
So obviously you're getting paid millions of dollars to have a job, right? And that would fit in the category of like, you're a superstar, right? And now you're like, okay, I am going to do it with businesses that I'm working. I have my own businesses. I know we're invested in several projects together. What's the process? What about dealing with the ego, which has always been an issue, by bringing you in? In fact, someone in field, like these managers think like, I'm not doing my job, right? Because if I did my job, I wouldn't have to hire you. So you have the managers of these corporate C-suites maybe kind of like, maybe I'm gonna be discovered. Maybe I'm not as good. Maybe I'm overpaid, right? In your case, they turned out they were not paying you enough, even though you make a lot of money, because when you left, obviously they kept trying to call you back, and everybody comes call you.
Yep.
So how do you manage, like, empower the other person that, hey, I'm not here to make you look bad, although you probably are because you're discovering things. We're just here to get things done. What's that balance?
And so my strategy is I make them look good. I help them win. And so whenever they're putting a problem in front of my team, I make sure that it's their solution, their ideas, their team that is making it happen. So I really teach them about engaging the hearts and minds of the team members to help solve their problems. So of course I train them and empower them with the solutions and the tools, but at the end of the day, it has to be their team, because when I leave, I want that to continue. And for that,
what do you think is the 3 biggest things that you do for companies, why they keep calling you back in a very short amount of time?
One of them is I get the results for them. Whatever problem they're looking to solve, I make sure that we don't...
Give us an example.
Working on an engine aircraft, for example. They were delivering the process in a couple months time frame, and they wanted to make sure that they beat out the competition, did it in a lot less time. So going in there, working with the team, and getting them excited about how to do things differently. We call this lean manufacturing principles, a little too technical. But we implement those, and that engine goes from a 2-month time frame to a same-day engine. So we manufacture that engine in that same day. So obviously there's a lot of work that happens to make that happen. But when they do that, it's phenomenal results, right? So they're impressed. A quoting process going from a 4-week process to a 2-day process. When they do that, when the competitors are still quoting, they're already collecting money from the customer. So that makes them competitive. And so with the results, they basically come through and outperform their competition from all of us.
What's interesting when I talk to you is that a lot of consulting companies, in a way, it's like reports and a lot of meetings, stuff like that. And the way that your clients, and you describe it, I'm a shortcut to getting whatever they need done faster. A shortcut, which in a way, a lot of consultants figure out on how to like solve problems and then have this, you're like a shortcut. Is that be a good assessment?
In a way, it's a shortcut. It's basically making sure that they're doing the entire process. When we map it out, you'll notice that most of the steps that they're doing are complete waste. They're not adding any value whatsoever. So we teach them of how do we define value, what's the criteria, and once you identify those few steps, and sometimes it's just literally 3 to 5 steps, we focus on those and you make those flow. And that's how they win. So all of the other 40, 50 steps that are in there happened over time, And they never stop to look at the process to say, what did we do wrong here? And so when you focus on those value-added steps and you put, a standard process around that and you document the standard process, it does wonders for them.
Interesting. I would hire you, and here's why. If another huge, Fortune 500 company pays you millions of dollars, right, and you decide to walk away to do it yourself, right, that just means you're a superstar, right? And I think at the end of the day, in many of our teams, we lack that superstar. So if I can't hire the superstar but still have her on my team, that to me, it's kind of like a free agent signing, and I can deploy that superstar. And I think that's why in a very short amount of time, you've done very good. And if you wanted to, you could probably go back to any job and offer you millions of dollars, but you find yourself a great niche, and now I know why you do so well at what you do. So thanks for being on. Good job.
Thank you.